I'm going to use this message by AK Nation News I've been using it to do a work on myself, on my flaws, as you suggested, and this is really useful. And you know, when I was a kid, I was the fifth of 6 sisters, and when I was little, they were adolescent, and they were very strong, very powerful, and beautiful, and sometimes they bullied me. And although I felt like I had something, I mean, I had a good perception of myself, but in the relationship, when I saw that I wasn't seen and cared for, and I was bullied, then I felt like shit, and this made me very angry, really angry, because in my family there was this thing that everybody was fighting for power. So I'm very concerned and very sensitive towards power relationships. But then, of course, with my work and fighting to get some power myself, first of all, I went into heroin. So I was a heroin addict from 15 to 20, and that allowed me to feel strong, to feel important, because I felt like for the world I was nothing. And then I was bullied at school as well. So heroin addiction allowed me to feel important, as opposed to my childhood and early adolescence. But then, of course, addiction became dramatic, and fortunately I managed to get out of that. But again, the relationship with my sisters and my family was always like, I was feeling always like very vulnerable and not able to respond to what they were saying. They were always right, they were always like pretentious. And of course, the thing is that I felt so bad that I wanted power as well. I wanted power, and although it hasn't been easy, and I haven't really, because at the same time I was doing psychotherapy, I was doing therapy, and I felt so vulnerable, but this is after the drugs, but at the same time, whenever I could, I wanted to. Now, if I say impose my power, don't misunderstand me, it wasn't like hurting really anybody, but I wanted to make others feel that I had some power and that I was fighting for it. And then I grew up thinking that the world was hostile. And therefore, I did my best to impose myself. I was seeing that if I didn't impose myself, let me then explain what I mean with imposing myself, but perhaps it's this attitude, right? This attitude that you see as pretentious. Although, you know, in my work, I've always been trying to empower people, and I have actually managed with my work to stimulate people to empower themselves. Not that I empowered them, but my method and my workshops allowed people to empower themselves. So that was my aim, because my biggest aim was to be useful to others. But at the same time, this attitude is something that was there all the time. Especially, for example, I've been giving a lot of talks and conferences. I've done a TED talk, for example, and of course when I was there at TED I felt like little, but then I tried to react to that. So, and also I must say that my father's family were high-rank officials of the Spanish Navy, and I feel that this sensitivity to power relationships, and also the fights of power for power in my family between my sisters were a consequence of the family that had been in the army, and it was a family that perhaps, it was a family that they had power. Some of them were high-rank officials, so that was. Then my father didn't go to the army. He didn't want to go to the army, so he did something else. And I mean, in my childhood, there was some money. Yeah, it's a middle-class family. But of course, my position in the family was always like the black sheep. And sorry to say this, perhaps this is a racist expression, yeah, it is. I saw yesterday Muhammad Ali's saying that everything that's negative is called black, so that is also racist. But anyhow, I felt like nothing in comparison with my sisters, and therefore, yes, this perception that the world was hostile, and that still, although lately, as soon as I got my PhD, I thought the world is not hostile anymore, and I felt so much better. Like in the last few months, even with the pandemic, I felt good because I was trying to be useful, and with my camera, with my video camera, and creating this YouTube channel, and giving away my energy, because I had heard of a lot of people who were suffering, and so giving my energy was very useful to. It was very useful for me. It made me feel good, and I saw that some people liked it. Not a lot. I don't have a lot of followers, as you have, but anyway, I felt that I was being useful. At the same time, I know that this tone, this pretentious tone that you're talking about, is something that still. So when I in all these videos, when I felt that I was talking to the world, that I'm an activist, I was like fighting, you know, and therefore this tone, I was imposing my power somehow. And although my aim in this channel is to show my vulnerability, lately I haven't had a lot of vulnerability. Well, there are some videos, yeah, and you can see some videos if you happen to look at some, but still, your critique and your words are helping me, first of all, and to continue to look at my flaws and to publish them, because this is the main aim of my method, to publish my flaws. Actually, I did a project called La Vie en Rose, to look for love, and I was publishing all my defects, and therefore this is my aim in this channel, but also in my whole work with my method SPEX. Also, I have, because of, so again, thank you for your critique, because I have written to my ex-partner, Moore, who is from Senegal. His name is Moore, so that we can chat on Zoom, and I'm going to ask him to tell me all those times in which he felt I was using my white privilege. So, and I'm really grateful, you know, because I feel that activism, wanting to be an activist and being an activist is actually helping me, allowing me to change myself first, because how can you promote change if you don't change yourself first? So yeah, that's it for now, and yeah, and I will continue, because I'm following this book called Me and White Privilege, or Me and White Supremacy, and I'm doing the exercises, so I'm going to film some videos giving in detail all the times that I have used my white privilege and the dynamics of power. You know, also I have a group of facilitators, like I have trained these people to use my method. And there is a small group with whom we are holding a workshop together, online workshop. And with this group, we have created a group in which we talk about everything, and we confront all our problems, and I try to reverse the dynamics of power, because of course I'm the creator of this method. They are younger than me, I have trained them, so I'm still the teacher. But we are managing to talk so much and to reverse these power dynamics, in the sense that I say something, perhaps I push them to evolve, so to speak, to be brief, and sometimes they have been even expressing their anger, which before we did this group, this wasn't possible. And therefore I do believe that this work is something like, I'm doing the work that I feel all whites should be doing, or all whites and all people of power. People of power, people who are leaders or who have power in society should be doing something like that. And that's why I'm recording these videos, and I want these videos to be published and to yeah, hopefully to be seen as by as much people as possible. So if you feel that yeah, well, if you're interested, then perhaps you can share. Thank you very much for listening until now.